bottles carried a 30 to 45 minutes worth of air, as we just mentioned, and that's how they're going to have to use this because these fumes are very noxious. If you're somebody, again, watching from the World Trade Center, it's a good idea if you're in the middle of this fire to be sure and fill your door before you actually open it. If it is hot, it is better to leave the door closed than it is to open it and let the flame in. Also, it's better to hit the floor and not stand up. Smoke rises, and the smoke, of course, will go to the ceiling. If you are watching this from the World Trade Center, again, use the stairwell. Do not use the elevators. That is the worst thing that you can do. For those of you who are not in the World Trade Center and watching this down in Lower Manhattan, please turn off your water. Do not use any water you do not need. They will need all the water pressure they can possibly garner at this point. This is a tough blaze to battle. Obviously, if a jetliner hits or any type of plane hits an World Trade Center like this, there's going to be a lot of fuel on board possibly. That fuel is very difficult to put out, and of course all the other stuff inside the building itself, which is going to give quite a bit of fuel to this fire. Firefighters will probably issue an all-hands call. That means everybody who is available, including those who are off for the day, will be called in to battle this blaze. That is the highest of all alarms, higher than a general alarm, and that means firefighters from all over the area will be called to battle the blaze. Again, it will be an internal attack. They cannot do anything externally because of the height of this. It's the top portion of the World Trade Center, the very top portion of the World Trade Center. We have maybe, I would say it's probably the top fifth of the World Trade Center, Tower 1, and maybe the top half of World Trade Center 2. Again, we're not sure if both or one of the towers was hit by a plane, but we do know 2 separate planes hit the towers, and that has resulted in this battle of the blaze that we are watching right now. We do see flames in Tower 1. You can see it at the base of the smoke on the left, and we do know that there's some very serious fire which they're having to battle here today.
Okay, that was Melinda Murphy. You've been listening to Melinda Murphy live from Chopper 11. Over what you can see is a raging fire. 2 planes. Now, we just got this in. A senior government official, speaking on condition of anonymity, said that the FBI is now pursuing reports that one or both of the planes that crashed into the 2 towers of the World Trade Center were hijacked, and the crashes may have been the result of a suicide mission. And we should stress that these are preliminary reports, but the quote is from the FBI, it certainly does not look like an accident.
Now, the New York
yes. Here's the plane. We're going to replay it. This is the second plane that crashed into Tower 1. This happened just after 9 o'clock this morning. The first plane crashed in 18 minutes before. Again, the FBI now reporting
and it looked like it really did know which way it wanted to go, and it crashed into the second Twin Tower building and caused a massive explosion. And I was just like, it was just completely stunning. I'm still hearing like little explosions all around, like around my block, but I don't know what's really going on. But it was definitely a second airplane.
What kind of explosions are you hearing? Do you know?
Just little like dooms. I don't know if maybe that could be like results from the building, but
right. Nicholas, can you just tell us exactly where you're located? Obviously, you're not in. Where are you in the vicinity of the World Trade Center?
Oh, well, I'm in the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Lower East Side of Manhattan, and you heard this? Did you hear the plane flying low? Can you tell us?
Well, no, not really. After the first boom, I just heard the explosion.
All right,
I didn't really think nothing of it, and then I just went to the window and I just saw the plane coming, towards the building.
Nicholas, what's the reaction in your neighborhood? You're right there. You're very close to it. What are people saying? What are their reactions?
Well, a lot of people on the ground don't even seem to notice because, I don't know, I guess the buildings are hindering their view.
Yes.
But I guess from the result in the hallway, I heard a lot of doors slamming and a lot of people were speaking in Spanish and, screaming and everything. So I don't exactly know if everybody is informed. Right now, the channels like Channel 11 isn't working on my TV, or none of the other channels are working, as a matter of fact.
And that's because a lot of the transmitters are off the World Trade Center,
Yeah.
and that's part of the problem.
The communication.
But the communications, yeah.
I also see a lot of people on the roofs, like, looking at it now. A lot of people going to the roof.
Can you explain to us, when you saw that second plane come in, did you get a good look at it? Can you describe to us what the plane looked like?
Well, I was in the Air Force before, so I don't really exactly know what type of plane it was, but I know it was a black plane. It looked like a fighter jet.
It looked like a fighter jet.
It looked like a fighter jet. I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
It was traveling extremely fast, so it definitely looked like it knew where it was going. It didn't look like it blew a thruster. It didn't look like, you know, something happened, like a malfunction. It definitely looked like it knew where it wanted to go.
How large was that plane? Could you tell?
Wow, it was maybe, wow, it was pretty big. And looking from my window, it's a pretty good distance. It's probably a good 30 miles away from the Twin Towers.
What went through your mind when you saw this going on?
Nothing, yo. It was just like, wow. I can't believe I'm actually seeing this in New York City, you know? So for this to actually happen, and it's still smoking.
Right. Now we're showing you, as we talk to you, Nicholas, we're showing a shot now of the second plane circling around. And as we see it, it actually goes around the back of our view and seems to go through the building.
Yeah.
It actually goes through the building, and you can see the second attack on the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center.
Can you describe that second explosion? Because when we were watching it, it was absolutely breathtaking. Did you hear a boom?
Definitely. I heard a loud explosion. I seen the building crash in, and all I seen was like a big mushroom cloud of fire and debris, and smoke just totally rise up, and it was just like in levels. You seen the windows explode, going down one by one, kind of, and it was just kind of like amazing in a way, but it's very shocking to see. I mean, you don't expect this kind of thing to happen every day in the Lower East Side. Absolutely
not. Nowhere in New York or even in this country.
We're,
I don't think we've
we're
witnessed
slow-moing
anything.
this,
This
Lynn.
is a slow-mo shot of the second plane to hit Tower 1 of the World Trade Center.
I was watching news earlier about the spy plane that crashed. Do you think that's maybe has something to do with this, or maybe they're tied together?
It's unclear right now, but we slow-mo this, and it did look like it went through, or partially through.
Right.
All right, we're going to go to,
we have another caller right now. Well, actually, you know, stay with us for a minute. Nicholas, can you stay with us for one more minute?
Sure, definitely.
All right. What are you seeing now in the aftermath from your view?
Well, from my view, the smoke is going left from my window. A lot more people on the roofs than before. I'm just seeing, well, from my window, I could see little chunks of debris coming down. I'm just seeing chaos. It's just unbelievable.
All right. Nicholas, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
All right, Lynn, we're going to go to Pat Kelly with the Office of Emergency Management in Westchester. Pat?
Yes.
Can you tell us what is going on? What is the very latest that you're hearing, sir?
What we're doing in Westchester is we're mobilizing in Westchester because we're assuming we're going to be backfilling and assisting in New York City. So we're preparing all of our fire, EMS, and emergency management people. We're opening our EOC, and a county executive staying on top of what we may be doing to assist New York with this tragedy.
Mm-hmm. We know that you work in situations like this. What's the first thing that you tell people?
Situations like this, as much as you prepare, you can never prepare for something like this. I know the fire, the EMS, the emergency management people prepare for fires in large buildings, but something of this magnitude and something of this quick and over such a large area, there's no real way to prepare. You just drop back onto what you've trained for. You go and you try to assist the people as best you can, and they're going to use up their resources real quickly. New York City's got a lot of resources, but an incident like this is going to tax it to the maximum, so they're going to be wanting assistance from most everyone they can. So that's why we in Westchester.
This is a difficult moment for America. I unfortunately will be going back to Washington after my remarks. Secretary Rod Page and Lieutenant Governor will take the podium and discuss education. I do want to thank the folks here at Booker Elementary School for their hospitality. Today we've had a national tragedy. Two airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country. I have spoken to the Vice President, to the Governor of New York, to the Director of the FBI, and have ordered that the full resources of the federal government go to help the victims and their families and to conduct a full-scale investigation to hunt down and to find those folks who committed this act. Terrorism against our nation will not stand. And now, if you join me in a moment of silence. May God bless the victims, their families, and America. Thank you very much.
On our country. Right there you see the aftermath, the World Trade Center towers, smoke billowing out of the upper floors, all those floors, I'm sure, fully occupied. The rescue attempts going forward as much as is possible, given the high floors of the tallest buildings in Manhattan, and given the number of people there. Dave?
Jim, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but you may be able to provide some historical perspective. How long have the Twin Towers been up? And once again, the floor height, the number of floors, I think is...
Yeah, off the top of my head, somewhere in the 60s, as I recall, and it goes up, what, 102 floors or so, up to the Windows on the World restaurant there.
And if we remember from the last bombing, it took months and months and months before that structure was certified sound again and re-inhabited by...
in from the bottom.
Right, that was a bombing from the parking garage level of the tower.
That is something that, it's hard to watch this, but it's more bearable because I remember that particular bombing, and I was on the air all morning and all afternoon with that one, is that you saw...
One, and it's not was. I am here, and I'm stuck right now.
Now, are you above, Jim, or below?
I have no idea. I have no idea where the plane hit. It's my understanding that it's a plane.
Jim, there are two planes. One went into one tower, one went into the other tower. What do you see around you? I mean, are you in smoke? Are you in fire? I mean,
the first thing that I want to make clear is that I'm stuck on the 86th floor. A fire door has trapped us. Debris has fallen around us, and part of the core of the building is blown out.
How many people are with you, Jim?
I'm with one other person, and I'm told that people are aware of this. I'm on the 86th floor on the east side of the building facing the East River.
And what time did you get...
If I'm on the air, I want to tell anybody that has a family member that may be in the building that the situation is under control for the moment, and the danger has not increased. So please, all family members, take it easy.
Jim, one of our producers, too, if you'd call NYPD and let them know exactly where Jim and that other person is stranded, 86th floor.
86th floor on the east side of the building facing the river.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
There are two of us here.
Okay, Jim, we'll try to make sure that we can alert everybody, and also it's good that you did mention that families should, to some extent, to have some calm right now. What time did you get to work?
I got to work around 8 o'clock this morning, and I think this happened around 8:45.
It did. Describe what you felt.
I felt just the whole building. I heard a noise, felt the whole building shake, and saw glass blown out. The glass on my floor was blown out from the inside of the building out, rather than the exterior windows being blown out.
And what
were you... fully shattered, and just the core of the building, the interior core of part of the building collapsed. Hello?
We were sworn to pass it. Jim, hang right there with 1 second. For folks that are in New York City, all bridges and tunnels in and out of the city have now been closed by the NYPD. I'm sure security measures to be taken if perhaps there are folks that are still in the city that are suspects.
Fire stairs are blocking our exit. I don't know where the stairs are, but I couldn't get to it, and I'm sure I would want to pass the debris on my own without it. Patricia and I, the elevators are blown out. There's a shaftway in between.
In the meantime, let's go back to Jim Dolan as we talk about what's just happened. Jim?
And again, another reason for closing the bridges and tunnels, besides the possibility of suspects, Steve, might also be they are concerned about another terrorist attack. Again, we talked earlier about the symbolism of the World Trade Center. Let's talk also about how vulnerable some people believe those tunnels to be. We have seen reports over the last several years that the tunnels are very strong. It would take an enormous explosion. They're not taking any chances today. after 2 explosions in the World Trade Center. Again, these are symbols of American capitalism, of the power of New York and the United States.
Right.
They don't want to take any chances.
Okay, let's go to Joe Torres, who's on the phone with us. Joe?
Laura, yeah, I'm on a payphone at the corner of Barclay